a beautiful country road that I've traversed over the years many times. It used to be my route to and from work, but that changed a year ago. A year ago last month. And I went to where I needed to be. This road is beautiful, though it does flood. In autumn, it does see some changes in the foliage, though not a lot, because we do not get a lot of changes in foliage in Louisiana. This used to be mainly woods, but it's now starting to become subdivisions, unfortunately. Well, fortunate for maybe the people that live in them, but just for the beauty of the woods is not quite the same. There are some cattle ranches or farms, hay fields. And as we move further along on that drive, you will hopefully be able to see the exotic deer pen with the really high fence that's on a corner up ahead. It is November, and it is a warm November day. On this particular trip, I'm on my way back with my grandson from getting his wisdom teeth removed. He did well. The surgery went quick, but he's very sore and just wants to get home. And I don't blame him, because I got mine out when I was a youngster. So I'm making sure that he's okay. And maybe I can get a little rest into somehow, as I've got the crud, though it is getting better thanks to my doctor's prescriptions. When I say warm, unseasonably warm, it's like around 80. It's humid. There is a cold front on the way, but when it clashes with this warm air, it will cause possible tornadoes, hail, and high winds. This is typical fall weather and typical spring weather for the southeast, especially Louisiana, and then up into Arkansas, Missouri, parts of Texas, Oklahoma. We get that. The closer to the Gulf, though, the nastier the hit as far as the clash. And, I do live in southwest Louisiana, 75 miles from the Gulf, so. But on days that there's bad weather, I don't traverse this road. One time more than once actually, I got caught in downpours, and this road puddles, floods easily. There's nowhere, as you can see, there's not very much drainage on the sides of this road at all, which is sad because there's a lot of people moving out here. So hopefully something will change with that. Hopefully, I say. This is where the subdivisions kind of start coming in. I also got caught in hail. The weather can be very tricky down here. It's like its own little special area. Southwest Louisiana, Calcasieu, Gorgard, they're considered pine prairie. Those Cameron, which is the parish to the south of us, is more prairie than pine prairie. It's just more marshland prairie type for our area. You see a lot of malnourished trees there. Those are damaged hurricane trees. That's one of the new beautiful homes out there. It all used to be woods. When I first started driving this drive as a work drive back in 2018, I would take many a sunrise picture from these angles, going in the other direction, of course. And I still have many of them on my Instagram, probably in the Grain of a Mustard Seed page on Instagram, grain_of_. A underscore, another underscore, something, mustard seed. Anyway, that's the Instagram page that corresponds to this channel for the most part. I even have some made into large posters that I used as wall hangings in the office that I worked in when I made this journey every morning and every evening. However, now they're kind of just piled up in my room, and I need to move them to my new office. I just haven't felt the urge to do it yet. More new homes. This is approaching the exotic deer place. Hopefully I got a decent shot of it. I was driving, so I just let the camera do its thing, and I drove so I could see where I was going. You see the high fence. There's this curve here. You can see the deer in there. It's pretty cool. You can see the deer in the beginning anyway. All right, shifted back to the road for you. Many times I have gotten stuck in a flood here, like you'd think that the road would drain, but it hasn't. There's like 3 creeks, I think, you cross here. Well, maybe the same one more than once, but anyway, those creeks flood quick, and there's a lot of debris in them that keeps them from flowing quickly. So I've had to back up and turn all the way around before, like back up a long ways more than once. So I learned if it's been raining, don't even bother. So it hasn't rained in a couple of days, so it was good to go. Tomorrow night it's going to be flooded there because of that cold front that's coming in. And a lot of the dead trees in our yard property area are probably going to, pieces of them anyway, will probably blow down with that storm, because as I do this voiceover watching this come back by in this video, I'm looking at branches that have already fallen since I've been out here the last time, big ones. So I'm just going to step away from these dead trees. There's some fall, a little bit of fall foliage again. Mostly coming from the tallow trees, a few maple here and there. I always wanted to go biking down this road, but due to its narrowness and its woodsiness and the fact that I've seen rather large dead hogs that people have accidentally ran into, wild hogs, I think maybe not. Because either someone won't be watching and I'll get run over and there's not a whole lot to get out of the way with, or one of those hogs will come after me, and that's a big hog. Like, no thanks. Or whatever other wildlife may be lurking, human or animal. Maybe as a group biking, that would be okay. By yourself, especially as a female, that would be foolish. 'Tis the world we live in. Back up in certain areas of this road, there's a deer lease. And our family actually has land in the middle of said deer lease. It's bizarre. The land was part of some other land that we had, long story short, without broadcasting other people that were involved with said land, not related to us. Dirty laundry. Anyway, we still have this piece of land in the middle of nowhere. And we used to go out to it as kids with my dad. And we play in it. There was like a sandy area by the creek. The creek is called Beckwith Creek. And it was always fun because we'd drive down this old road and then go down another practically trail of a road. And we'd ride. Back in the day, you could ride in the back of the truck. We had a camper on it. I mean, that sucker was so many bumps. We bumped up and down the back of that truck. And I tell you what, it was fun. It kind of hurt And nowadays you probably get in trouble for putting your kids in the back of a truck bumping up and down. But, you know, we survived. We was fine. We got out. We'd play in that sand, and we'd just walk around in the woods at this time of year in the winter. It's so beautiful out there. But the surrounding, whoever owned the surrounding area, that the land, we actually don't even have a right-of-way, though legally we're supposed to have a right-of-way to it, I would assume, got bought up by somebody, and they rent it out as a deer lease, and you have to pay money to get in there to hunt deer at certain times of year. But our land is right in the middle of it, and they're hunting on that land too. Not that that's a big deal, but we can't get to our own land. So I don't know what's going to become of that as our family estate thing goes through succession. I mean, what do you do? Sell it to the deer people? Or would they even buy it? They're like, hey, we own it all around it, so why would we buy it? So that's an interesting legal question for someone that would be a property, commercial, real estate, whatever the heck kind of lawyer. I really wouldn't even know how to Google such a question. Would I want to live in the middle of that? No, because people are, certain times of year, are popping guns off at deer, and bullets would whiz by your house and your head, and that would be cool. But the area that it's in is really pretty. But as far as getting them plumbing, I mean, you'd be off grid. You would have to have an outhouse and a well, solar panels or something, which actually wouldn't be that bad, except for the whole bullets whizzing by your head during deer season. We're almost to the end of our drive. We have left Beauregard, and now we are in Calcasieu. Like I said, normally I wouldn't even put this on here because someone would know my route every day, but I don't make this route anymore every day. I rarely make it at all. I decided to come home this way so I can make this video because I have mentioned in another video about autumn in the South doesn't have much color. And, well, as you can see, there's patches of it on this road. You see, you got the yellow goldenrod, and the black-eyed Susans, and the tallow trees, and a few maples, and the oaks that are turning brown. Like, you see a lot of pine. Like I said, it's a pine. The pine trees here are called longleaf pine savanna, and that's pretty much what's always been here. The lumber industry came through here, and then the railroad. There's a sawmill not too far away from this area right here. But it was a beautiful day. It's very cloudy now in the afternoon, but this was about 10:30, 11 this morning on November 3rd. It looks a lot better than it did a couple of years ago when dead trees literally lined up and down after Hurricane Laura. It took a long time to clean that up, over a year. Like I said, there's people still. I've got stuff falling here and there, everywhere, still, from stuff that wasn't completely dead, but is dying off now. And I'm walking around as I do this in my yard, and like I said, there is another branch, and then